Who is at risk here? Trump, the Clintons, the King Charles, Bill Gates, Barak. What's going on here?
I don't think any of them are at risk. So to give you a sense for why I believe that, consider that in the 1970s, so this is 1977,
okay.
It became public that the U.S. government, the U.S. military, had been spraying millions of U.S. citizens with experimental bioweapons.
Really?
You never heard about it?
No.
Nobody went to jail for it.
Okay.
And they stopped talking about it immediately. It was reported in the Washington Post and in other places, and there was congressional hearings about it.
1977.
1977.
Okay.
Yes, it was a consequence of the Church Committee hearings on the activities of U.S. intelligence.
Okay.
And because the CIA was also involved in this, so and then it became its own investigation into the spraying of bioweapons on U.S. citizens, millions of them in secret.
Okay. What was the influence of this spraying?
You're saying, do we have evidence that they were harmed?
Yeah.
Yes, I think a lot of people have made the case that many people were harmed. For example, there is an argument that Lyme disease in the United States, which is a relatively new disease, was a consequence of these programs. So and Lyme disease has hurt many people. This is a documented historical fact that became a congressional investigation in the United States. An official congressional investigation. It was reported in the Washington Post.
Can you go back and find the reports?
Sure, I have an article about this on my website, and I give all of the documentation. Leonard S. Cole, professor at Rutgers, wrote an entire book about this, which is called Clouds of Secrecy, where he documents this, and he also documents that this is ongoing. They never stopped. They've kept on doing this. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, the point of telling you about that is that nobody went to jail.
Okay.
So this is a crime against humanity. It's the kind of crime that doctors hanged for at Nuremberg, right? But when the U.S. bosses do it, nobody goes to jail. Nobody was even tried. You were saying, who's at risk here? I say nobody. Nobody's going to jail for the Epstein files.
Why? Because they stand shoulder to shoulder and keep the secret?
Yeah, because
because they're all at risk.
Because if you start a trial process for one of these people, then all of this stuff comes out.
But it does come out.
No. I
mean, we read a lot of stuff.
Right, but what is at risk here is that U.S. citizens might understand what their own government really is. The whole noise that everybody's making about Epstein supposedly being an Israeli agent is interesting as a theory, because what you're saying in that case is that the Israeli government is very, very powerful, right? Because the Epstein operation is obviously a honeypot. You know, honeypot is this term they use in intelligence circles to mean compromat, right? You set up a situation where these very powerful people commit a crime, and you have it on video, so now you own them, right? And then you can control them. This is the idea.
That's the idea.
That's the idea. Saying. So then if the Israeli government is behind Epstein, then it would mean that the Israeli government is very powerful, right? Of course. This is what people think.
We're controlling the world.
But look at U.S. policy. U.S. policy, as we discussed in the other interview, is designed to force Israel to lose the wars that it's winning. Donald Trump stopped Israel in Lebanon. He stopped them in Syria. He stopped them in Iran, in Qatar, in Gaza. If you insist that Epstein is Mossad, then the Israeli government is a treasonous government. Because the Epstein operation, if it's that powerful, what it has produced is a policy designed to destroy Israel. I mean, if the Mossad really controls the U.S. government, which is what they're basically saying, right? If that's true, then why doesn't Donald Trump simply allow Israel to win its wars?
Let's take it to the other side.
Let's take it to the other side. If the CIA is the owner of Epstein, then, and the U.S. government has a pro-jihadi policy, as I claim, then it all makes sense. What you were saying makes sense. They were bringing these Israeli politicians and high-profile figures so that they can use them to destroy Israel.
Isn't there a possibility that Epstein simply worked on his own, did his whole network by himself in order to get an influence over these people?
I think that's highly unlikely.
Making money and whatever? I
think that's highly unlikely because there is a huge mystery about where Epstein got his money. A private individual doesn't really need a honeypot. This is what intelligence agencies do. This is what they specialize in, right? Intelligence agencies specialize in corrupting individuals who have power so that they can use them. Whoever's doing it is very interested in undermining the security of Israel because U.S. policy has been undermining the security of Israel. We know that Barak was basically handing over Judea and Samaria and Gaza to the terrorists. Yeah. He tried very hard.
He tried, but he didn't succeed. He failed.
Right, but
he failed and failed.
The question here is not whether he succeeded or not. The question is, what was he trying to do? Mm-hmm. What he was trying to do is consistent with him being an agent of the pro-jihadi forces. The Jewish state was created to protect the Jewish people from extermination. And what the Oslo process did is it brought the exterminators into militarily strategic territory of the Jewish state. That's what happened. And the Israelis, it was never explained to Israelis what was going on.